Hey guys, welcome back to my Cali style shuffle series. On this week's tutorial, we're going to be going over arm movements. So for arm movements, since it's such a diverse concept, there's not just one way to explain this. There are infinite possibilities on how you can explain arms, but I'm going to be explaining you guys and going over a few concepts that have worked for me personally. So the first thing that you need to know about arms is that in order for you to start incorporating arms into your shuffling, you first need to have the footwork completely down. It needs to be muscle memory, because if your footwork is not muscle memory, when you try to think about what you're going to do with your arms, you can't think about what you need to do with your arms and your feet. It's a lot to think about all at once. So in order to incorporate your arms, you need to make sure that you have certain moves, kind of like your running man and your T-step, completely down to the point where you no longer think about it. So in today's tutorial, we are going to be going over just a couple examples of different things you could do with your arms, but we're not going to be doing a step-by-step tutorial since there's just so much to cover with arms. Today we're just going to be starting to go over the basics. So with arms, there are infinite possibilities. There are so many different things you could do. You could mimic the same thing that your feet or your legs are doing. You could do opposite arms to what your legs are doing. You can do push and pull movements. You could play with the camera so that if you want to add some VFX to your shuffle videos, it looks really cool. There's just so many things that you can do with arms, because arms, that's where your style comes into play with your shuffling. So when it comes to your arm movements, the first thing you want to make sure is that you are listening to the music. You want to make sure that your arms make sense with the music that is playing and that they make sense with what your feet are doing. So there are different ways that you can go about your arms. You could do the same thing as what your feet are doing. So for example, if I am doing a running man, maybe I want to just do this with my arms. Maybe I want to do the opposite of what my feet are doing. And maybe I want to do something completely different and just... So the easiest way to practice your arms, like I said, is to just running man, do some rocking. So notice what I'm doing when I'm rocking. I'm bringing my hands together. All I did right there, super simple, but because it's very fluid and it flows, it looks good. Your arm movements don't need to be super complicated. You don't need to start tutting in order to impress your audience. Like, it's just very simple moves that are sharp and have a purpose. So what I just did when I was just kind of grooving a little bit was just pulling, like almost like a circle. And then when I go down, instead of just leaving my arms to hang limply to the side, they actually go like that. So I do a lot of like grabbing almost. You could also do point up, down. You can push, so you can pretend there's a wall and push. You can pull yourself. There are just so many different things that you can do with arms. Like, there are an infinite number of possibilities. And even if you do want to just start tutting, like, no one's gonna stop you. You can really do whatever works for you, for your style. So this video is just like a general introduction to some basic arm concepts. And what we're going to be doing in later tutorials is going over arm movements for different styles. So before we leave, I just want to remind you guys to comment, like, subscribe if you enjoyed the video and found it helpful. If there's a specific move or tutorial, or maybe there's a arm movement that I did in today's tutorial that you want me to break down, definitely let me know in the comments below. So I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.